This is Scott Becker with the Becker Private Equity and Business Podcast. And today's discussion is intentionality and breathing deep under pressure. So one of the things that we see in business, in sports, in almost everything in life is this concept of people that get under pressure, get anxious, and then don't perform how they want to perform. We see this with executives in great speeches. We see them in responding to comments. I remember 100 years ago responding to a comment somebody asked me when I was under pressure, incredibly stupidly, that led me, this was a long time ago, led me to be, portrayed poorly, maybe rightfully so, for the answer I gave in our college newspaper because I, was under pressure, under stress. I see this in so many things in life, this sort of like, people just jumping and moving forward in a frantic way without thought or taking that breath and trying to be very intentional. I see it in sports where colleagues in a big situation, instead of breathing and taking a moment on their temperament, will just, swing the racket, swing the club, do whatever they're trying to do, and then, of course, have a suboptimal result. So the concept is that we see, and we see this so often, with people in business relationships reacting quickly without thinking. And we're a big fan on a bias for excellence. You got to hit this down the middle, but this reacting and not thinking, and the reacting or not acting with intentionality. If there's something that you are trying to accomplish, or you're trying to respond to something that hits you from a pressured spot, so important to take a breath, to relax, to grow into the situation and then act. And it doesn't have to be a long breath, but enough to get yourself calm and moving forward. So many things are important about that concept of intentionality and deep breathing. I can give this advice to myself in so many different situations. I certainly see it in others. We see it often in others where just a moment, taking one moment to pause and act would be helpful. Of course, that pausing and acting was a horrible thing for me in certain kinds of sports. In soccer as a kid, it left me a step behind. You got to think, then act. Horrible. I wish there I was more impulsive. But in most things, this concept of breathing and then acting versus breathing and reacting was you much better off. I've got buddies that sort of when under certain key situations on the golf course will often sort of, not get the shot they want to hit because they're so anxious coming up to the ball and tend to take the time to control their temperament and to breathe. I'm sometimes the beneficiary of that because they're sending me Venmos and Zells and stuff like that. But I do think in an aim for everybody to get better and to amplify everybody's greatness, we'd encourage you, whether sports, business, life, a little bit deeper breathing, a little bit more intentionality, we'll all be better off. Feel free to anytime text Scott Becker at 773-766-5322 and just absolutely love to hear your comments. If you're one of the first two people to respond to this podcast on intentionality and breathing, I'll be happy to send you a $50 gift certificate. You got to be one of the first two people to respond, to text me at 773-766-5322. Thank you, as always, to our producer, Chanel Bunger. Just absolutely love working with Chanel, one of the best in the business with executive podcasting solutions. Just fantastic. Thank you very much.